Privacy commissioners in Canada have concluded that U.S.-based technology company Clearview AI broke Canada's federal and provincial privacy laws. The 4 privacy commissioners found that Clearview collected photos of Canadians without their consent. The database of photos was then used by some Canadian police forces to look for suspects from photos on the internet and on social media. Daniel Terrien is Canada's privacy commissioner, and he's with me now. Mr. Terrien, thanks for taking time to speak with me. I do appreciate it.
Welcome.
Let's start with what you were looking into. Why did you decide to investigate the actions of Clearview AI?
Well, there were press reports last year about the activities of this company, and there was criticism worldwide of their activities. And we ultimately concluded that what the company engaged in was mass surveillance, given that they had scraped, amassed biometric information, facial recognition for approximately 3 billion images worldwide and millions in Canada. So in part, it's the breadth of the activity and the number of people affected, and the ultimate goal of identifying people to the police. Yeah. Law enforcement activities are, of course, necessary in a society, but to have billions of images of innocent people used essentially to bring people in a virtual, perpetual police lineup is just beyond any possible acceptable limits.
What makes it a clear violation of Canada's privacy laws? Because I'll get into what the company responded in a moment, but when you looked at this company's activities and the fact that police forces were using this database of photos, what made that a clear violation of Canada's privacy laws in your eyes?
As you mentioned, they collected these images without consent and without explicit consent, but we see that fairly frequently, unfortunately. I think what was clearly unacceptable was the change in purpose in the information. People were innocently socializing on social media, exchanging information, putting their photographs on social media for that purpose. And then a company collects, again, billions of images and uses them for a completely different purpose, creating risks for individuals. So it's the sum of all that, but certainly the breadth of the activities is a big part of it.
The company argued that the images in its database, they said, look, they're publicly available, and that it did balance privacy rights against its own business interests. It also said that, you know, the privacy laws in Canada really didn't apply to it because it wasn't really materially connected to Canada. Why did you reject those arguments?
Well, on the point that the information was publicly available, in a certain sense, you might accept that, except that privacy laws in Canada have a very narrow definition of what is publicly available and therefore can be used by companies. And there's a reason for that. And it is exactly what we're seeing here. Information is publicly available under Canadian law in very narrow purposes, so that individuals have a modicum of control as to what purposes they will allow their information to be used. Yeah. So there's a difference between what is publicly available in common language and what is publicly available in Canadian law. Go ahead.
Yeah, just very short on time. Are they subject to any penalties because of this finding?
Not currently, not in any of the 4 jurisdictions. There's, as you know, Bill C-11 before Parliament that would provide penalties for some types of violations, but unfortunately not for the types of violations that we found against Clearview. So even under the bill before Parliament, they would not be subject to administrative monetary penalties. I think that's a gap in the bill before Parliament, and I will ask parliamentarians to amend it.
All right. Canada's Privacy Commissioner, Danielle Therrien. Always good to talk to you. Thanks for your time tonight.
You're welcome.